Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Crux SMP server. Oh man, we got a couple of new buildings here I want to show you guys. This is Chris's new business. The building is awesome, man. I was watching his video where he built this, and I gotta tell you, he reminds me a lot of BOO, where he places a block. It'd be like this. He's like, I don't know about this one. Let me take a look, and then you'll be like, yeah, I like that one. And then it's like, no, it's a really awesome building though. I will say that for sure. So, no videos yesterday, and only one video today, and there's a good reason for that. I was in Canada. Yes, I don't know, I think I mentioned this several times, but I don't, in case you missed it. I was in Vancouver, British Columbia at Rogers Arena watching the Vancouver Canucks play the Montreal Canadiens, and the Montreal Canadiens roasted them, so good for them. Obviously, I'm a huge Montreal Canadiens fan. You go back and I play NHL on this channel and stuff. Always plays the Montreal Canadiens, so huge Montreal Canadiens fan. I bought a jersey there in Canada and all sorts of awesome stuff, so really good game. And this final score was 7-5, which is, I mean, that's pretty high scoring, and I mean, that was a good game regardless of who won. So yeah, I mean, it was just awesome. One of the best nights of my life for sure. It was my first time in Canada, first time in a hockey game. I mean, a lot of firsts happened there, and yeah, it was just awesome, absolutely incredible. And if you ever get a chance to go to an NHL game, you should, because there's a lot of awesome things going on there. The fans and everything. Like, I was sitting up in section like 320, 325, I think, 324 section, and which is nosebleeds. I mean, see, when people say nosebleeds, though, they're usually referring to like baseball games or football games where you're much farther from the field or from the play area. In hockey arenas, there's really no bad seats. Like, unless you're in Brooklyn at a New York Islanders game, then there's bad seats. But for the most part, in just a normal hockey arena, there's really no like terrible seats. Like, pretty much every seat is a good place to watch the game from. I was right in the middle of the rink, slightly offset to the left, but pretty much right in the middle. So it was basically like the camera view on TV. I got basically that view, and it was really good view. So I'm not complaining about that at all. It was really awesome experience. And if you ever get a chance to go, not just to an NHL game, but any really professional sports team game, it's gonna be a lot of fun no matter what. So yeah, here we are in our little house. Listen, I did a live stream a few days ago, and if you missed that, I did a few things. No like major building, but I think I did this on stream. I can't remember. It's been like, listen, I got hockey and Canada in my mind right now. But anyway, I don't know if I did this on camera, but I kind of replaced these, get a little depth in here. I put some andesite blocks. I put another painting right here, so I think it looks pretty cool in here. I like it. We got a TV with our little chair. Yeah, so that's there. And then I collected a few more diamonds. I don't know where they are. I think I must have put them back at the other house. But yeah, I collected a few diamonds. I think it was 3 that I got on the stream. So we're up to 18 diamonds now, and I haven't done anything with them yet. Don't worry, I do plan on using them soon, but not right at the moment. I did get some chain pants off a zombie, which is awesome. I think I'm the first person to get chain something, so that's pretty cool. Don't quote me on that, I'm not for sure, but I think so. So that's pretty awesome. I repaired them in my anvil. I want to throw this iron into the furnace, which is now in the house. Yeah, so that's where we're sitting right now. You don't worry, you didn't miss anything too big on the live stream if you couldn't make it, but yeah. So I guess what we're gonna do today is kind of I'm gonna work on some terraforming, but I'm not gonna do a whole lot of cuts this episode. I'm just kind of getting back into the groove, like I said. I mean, a lot of people don't realize that even one day of not making videos is a long time for people who make videos every day. I make 2 videos a day, and that means that usually my commentary is reasonably sharp. Usually I'm, energetic and usually not making a whole lot of pauses if I don't have to. And even if you're just one day where you're not thinking about that stuff, it can go south pretty quick as far as your commentary quality and overall video quality. So I'm easing myself back into it. So what I'm going to do today is just tell some stories, I guess, from when I was in Canada and work on some terraforming and stuff. So not going to be a super long episode or anything crazy like that. Just want to kind of ease myself back into it and not overdo it for this first day back. I need stone. I'm pretty sure I had some. Is there like just regular old stone? I could have sworn I had a bunch of it. And I don't see it now. That's okay. We'll smelt some stone here. We'll do that. And, where's my coal? There it is. Babango. Perfect. So, first story, I guess, is, I don't know. It's hard to say, like, how many of my viewers are from the States or from Canada or from, Denmark, from Holland, from, I mean, there's a whole bunch of places that you guys could be from. And obviously YouTube can guess sometimes about where some of my viewers from. If you go to your analytics page, sometimes it'll tell you where what the general census is as far as where your viewers are from. But it's not always 100% accurate, and also, I mean, it can tell you kind of a region, but it can't really tell you like where exactly people are watching from, where your audience, the majority of your audience, is based in. It's tricky like that to get statistics like that. But anyway, I didn't realize. So if you're unfamiliar with the States, if you're from not from the States and don't know very much about the States, we use something called the imperial system here, and it has to do with the way that we measure things. Okay. We measure things in a very, very weird way. Most of the world uses the metric system, which is based on tens, which makes sense. Based on tens. Everything is based on tens. Everything makes sense to people who are familiar with the system. I am not overly familiar with the metric system because I don't use it on a daily basis. And this is such an entitled American thing to say, but so we crossed the border. We crossed the Canadian border. I live in Seattle. I live a couple hours south of Seattle, but so it's about an 8-hour drive from where I live to the border of the U.S. and Canada. Okay? And so, oh, hello. And in the U.S., we use miles, we use gallons, we use imperial system measurement increments. We use miles, feet, yards, inches, and all that stuff, okay? Gallons, ounces, things like that, okay? Well, as soon as you cross into Canada, it is not like that. Like, there's no transition period, really. It's no, like, they don't ease you into the whole metric system. Like, as soon as you cross the border into Canada, it instantly goes from miles to kilometers per hour. The speed limit signs do. I got so excited when I pulled up to a gas station and saw 135. I was like, oh, it's a fucking party. Let's... 135 a gallon? Are you kidding me? And that's 135 Canadian, which is slightly less than... no. It's about 89 or 81-ish cents to the U.S. to the Canadian dollar. So the Canadian dollar is worth less than the U.S. dollar right now. It hasn't always been like that, but for the moment, the Canadian dollar is worth less. So that means even if we're paying in U.S. dollars, that's even less than 135. That's about a dollar. Well, I was like, it's a fucking party. So I go to fill up, and I was like, well, here, I'll give you $15. $15 US, and that'll be enough. I drive a truck, and it has an 18 gallons in it. It's an 18-gallon tank. Okay, so I give him $15, and I have about, I don't know, a little less than a quarter of a tank. I'm thinking 15 will be enough to fill up if I'm only paying $1 a gallon, right? I go to fill up, and I go to fill up, or I give him the $15. I come back, I start pumping my gas. I get through pumping my gas. I go in my car, and I have half a tank. I was like, that's kind of weird. And then it hit me. It's in liters, which are much less than gallons. Yeah, it just is. Yeah, there's no transition. There's no like, hey, you need to, think Canadian, because here we are in Canada, and yeah, everything's in the metric system. Now I should have known, but I didn't know what I didn't know. Like obviously I know what liters are, but I didn't put the pieces together. I was like, because we live in the U.S. and we're so entitled and we're blah 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 blah, and I just didn't put the pieces together. But I know now, for next time that I go up to Canada. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. It's you'd think since Vancouver and Richmond and Ferndale and all those places are so close to the border, you'd think that there'd be like a transition period. Like, hey, here's what it is in kilometers, and then below it there'd be like miles, right? Just to ease you into it. Nope. It is all kilometers as soon as you cross the border. So, yeah, yeah. Anyway, I'm not faulting them for that. I'm just saying that's the way it is, and it was kind of funny. I was like, 135 a gallon. Let's have a fucking party, But yeah. So yeah, if you go to Canada, just be aware of that. It's different. Also, it was snowing, which I was not expecting. I expected, because they didn't forecast the snow. Even the people who live in Vancouver were surprised that it snowed, because they didn't really forecast it. But yeah, it was snowing, and so I'm in downtown Vancouver driving, trying to get to Rogers Arena, which is on the other side of town from where I entered. So I'm driving through downtown Vancouver, British Columbia, and Rogers Arena, by the way, is where the Vancouver Canucks play. Is an NHL team, but obviously we went to Vancouver as Montreal Canadiens fans, but we were not. But because Montreal is on the other side of the country for us, it's a much bigger of a trip. So we went to go see. So we were going to Rogers Arena to get to the game, and so we have to go through downtown. And anyway, but it was snowing. It had been snowing all day in Vancouver. Even though the forecast said it was not going to snow. So, there's a lot of, particularly at the intersections in Vancouver, a lot of packed snow was on the road. And when you hit packed snow, you can get packed snow in your brakes, and the brakes will lock up. So that's exactly what happened to me. I'm driving through downtown Vancouver, and so it's very, very busy, very, very much like Seattle in that respect. In that traffic is very bad in Vancouver. Very bad traffic town in Vancouver. And so I was driving through downtown, and then I got some snow in my brakes, and my brakes locked up, and I was coming up to a stoplight with a Lexus SUV in front of me, and Colin, which is my car's name, Colin's brakes locked up, and I slide about 6 feet, only to be about 16 inches from sliding into the back of this Lexus. And also, not only sliding into the back of the Lexus, which is directly in front of me, I was also sliding to the right into cars that were parked on the side of the road. Luckily, Colin got it together at the last second and managed to stop about 1.5 feet from the back of this Lexus. So that was really scary. That was pretty traumatizing for me, I would say. I mean, I consider myself a pretty good driver, but yeah, that Colin, he got it together, luckily, but yeah, I don't know, that was scary. But anyway, yeah, I'm alive, so that's good. But I was worried for the because when you have situations like that, you tend to like see them in slow motion, right? So I was like, I was watching Colin slide into the back of this SUV in slow motion. And during that time, why am I placing dirt there? During that time, I was thinking, oh my God, I don't know if my, state's insurance is going to work up here. I don't know who I'm going to call because I don't have cell service, because as soon as I crossed the border, my cell phone stopped working. Oh my God, it ended up being fine, but yeah, it was pretty gnarly there. So anyway, that's my almost died in Canada story. What else have I got to tell you guys? One of the things I was really excited to go to Canada was to drink Tim Hortons. Now, if you've never heard of Tim Hortons, they're not only the official coffee of the National Hockey League, they're basically, it's Canadian Starbucks, okay? If you live in the States, you know what Starbucks is. If you're a white girl, you know what Starbucks is, okay? It's like Canadian Starbucks. And I was talking to Hutter, who lives on Prince Edward Island. He was like, oh, Timmy's, which is I guess what they call it up there. I don't know. I just called it Tim Hortons, but he was like, oh yeah, Timmy's is the best. Timmy's is the bomb. I was like, all right, man, I'm ready to go. And what I didn't realize is the hotel that I was staying at in Vancouver is right in the middle of Chinatown. Right in the middle of Chinatown in Vancouver. And so everybody at that Tim Hortons was not very good at English. It was pretty bad. A lot of Asian people. I will say this, and I'm not like saying this with any, with any kind of disrespect or stereotyping or anything like that. I'm just saying that in general, there's a lot of Asian people in the Vancouver area. I was not expecting that. I expected a lot of rich white people to be there, but it was a lot of Asian people there. And I don't know what the story is behind that, but I imagine it has something to do with immigration for sure. But yeah, just a lot of Asian people, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just wasn't expecting it. But so yeah, we were right in the middle of Chinatown, and our Starbucks, what barista, I guess is what they're called. I don't know if that's what they call them in Canada, but we call them in the States baristas if you work at a coffee place or you make coffee. Our Canadian barista was not very good at English, so I was like, hey, I want a 20-ounce vanilla vanilla mocha, which is a typical drink here in the States. I don't know, but she was very confused when I asked for that. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, so and then the next morning, so today is the what's today? The 22nd? Is today the 22nd? 21st. Today's the 21st. The shortest day of the year for us in the States. The winter equinox is today. But anyway, so the next morning we get up and we were going to go look for another Tim Hortons. We didn't want to go back to that one that we were at because it wasn't overly impressed with it. So I wanted to find one that wasn't in the middle of Chinatown, that that people spoke English at. So we decide to leave Vancouver and go about 5 miles down the road to Richmond, Virginia, which is a very big town, but not nearly as dense as Vancouver, because we didn't want to deal with the traffic. Hi. I don't know what that is about. Anyway, didn't want to deal with the traffic, so we go looking for a Tim Hortons in Richmond, and it takes us about an hour of looking for let me type /recording here, or a /recording. Oh crap. slash recording. How is it not? It's not slash record. It's just it's not slash recording. It's just slash record. Anyway, yeah. So we go looking for Tim Hortons. We being my mother and I, who came to the game with me. We go looking for Tim Hortons, and I was like, oh, it's Starbucks. It must be everywhere, right? It must be everywhere, and it's not exactly the case. Like I would say that the ratio for Starbucks in the States is about one on every corner, one on every block is basically the ratio there. Whereas Tim Hortons are not as frequent in Canada as Starbucks is in the States. So anyway, we end up finding a Starbucks in Canada, and that's where we got coffee, and it was the shittiest coffee I've ever had in my life. But yeah, I didn't realize it took us an hour to find a coffee place. We would have just looked up, hey Siri, get me directions to the nearest Tim Hortons. Except, oh, there goes my phone. Except, our phones don't work, and we didn't realize this either. As soon as you cross the border, we have Verizon here in the States. Our family does. We have Verizon here in the States. And we didn't realize that as soon as you cross the border, it's not valid anymore. You lose service. You're not on Canadian towers. So didn't think about that. So we couldn't look up directions for, anything. So, and they don't show Tim Hortons or coffee places on the map. So that was kind of frustrating. But anyway, we got through it. How are we looking here? I think the stone definitely looks more natural. I need to put some stone back here. Yeah. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call the episode here, to be honest. I know it's a short one, but to be honest, I did preface it saying it was going to be a short one, so don't blame me. Next episode, obviously, we're gonna get back into really doing the stuff. But I just wanted to kind of transition myself back into recording. One video today, back to 2 videos tomorrow. We'll have OP Prison and Cube World tomorrow, just like normal. And then the Simple Life 2 will return with Crux on the day after that. So we'll be back to normal tomorrow. But I just wanted to, like I said, a smooth transition, ease myself back into talking and whatnot, because I didn't do a lot of that when I was in Canada. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I hope you enjoyed my stories and whatnot, and hopefully you learned something about going to Canada so that you don't make the same stupid American mistakes that I made. So anyway, with that being said, I will see you in the next episode.